by his wonderful qualities. Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's beautiful form, Krishna's wonderful character, his ecstatic, emotional, loving dealings with his devotees, his truthfulness, his steadiness, his kindness, and his mercy. These are all wonderful qualities of Krishna that attract our minds and hearts. And so when we hear or read about these qualities and pastimes, this sparks further development of love. And so does the association of devotees. So much so that in the famous Adau Shraddha sloka that gives the stages of development of this devotional service, the first stage is Shraddha. And Shraddha, or faith, comes about by hearing. Hearing not just from anybody, but hearing from a pure devotee of the Lord. And then the next stage is Sadhu Sangha, associating with devotees. So by hearing from a self-realized soul, either directly or through a book or a video or other medium, because the transcendental sound vibration is potent, whether it's in the dynamic form of hearing directly or whether it's in the static form of some kind of recording or book or other medium. It still has the same effect. So we associate with devotees, again, either directly by going to the ashram or by going to an assembly of devotees, or indirectly by watching a video or what's another means of associating with devotees indirectly?
Reading books.
Well, you can read books, but that is books are generally written by spiritual masters. So that's really kind of the first, the Shraddha. Forums. There's a good...
Music?
Huh? Hearing. Yeah, we could hear music. For example, a lively kirtan recording. And that you would associate with devotees via hearing a recording, let's say of a nice kirtan or something, or a class. Maybe there's a discussion, like our Darshan discussion. Sometimes in the evening, especially when we first started this series, we had a lot of discussions where we just sat around and talked about anything. We didn't have any particular topic, but we just sat around. And we've had those here too. But generally we don't record them because they're very personal and spontaneous, and we never know what subject is going to come up. Sometimes they get really interesting, and I wish they had been recorded, but oh well. Can't record everything, can we? Maybe we can. So in the second part, or the second wave of Nectar of Devotion, there are 15 chapters, chapters 20 through 35, and we're now on chapter 25. So we're going to try to finish this wave before I leave for India on the 4th of September. So we're going to try to figure out how we can do that. This chapter 25 is pretty short. I think we can finish it tonight. Hmm? What's happening? Where is it? Wait a minute, it moved or something. Yeah, it got moved during the kirtan somehow. Try that. Okay. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Okay, good. So here's chapter 25 of Nectar of Devotion by Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī, entitled Devotees of Kṛṣṇa. A person who is always absorbed in Krishna consciousness is called a devotee of Krishna. Śrīla Rūpa Gosvāmī says that all the transcendental qualities discussed previously are also found in the devotees of Krishna. Wow. What do you know? That's fabulous. So, the wonderful qualities, the last several chapters have been discussing Krishna's qualities and Krishna's personality and his wonderful character. And now we find out that these same qualities are also present in the devotees. And by devotees, he's talking about the pure devotees, of course, the perfectly self-realized souls, but he's also even talking about the sadhakas, or those on the path of developing pure love of Kṛṣṇa. So all these devotees have, or reflect, might be a good way to express it. They reflect the qualities of Kṛṣṇa because they're always in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. They're thinking of Kṛṣṇa, they're serving Kṛṣṇa, they're associating with Kṛṣṇa by means of his holy name, his teachings, and so on. So those qualities of Kṛṣṇa shine through them because they're always in touch with Kṛṣṇa within. The devotees of Kṛṣṇa can be classified into two groups: those who are cultivating devotional service in order to enter into the transcendental kingdom, and those who are already in the perfectional stage of devotional service. So as we know, the first group, those who are cultivating devotional service, are divided into two stages. Those who are practicing a regulative devotional service by following the principles of the scriptures and the orders of the spiritual master, and those who are engaged in spontaneous devotional service, still under the direction of the spiritual master, but in this case the impetus or the initiative for practicing devotional service comes from within their own hearts. This is the more advanced stage. The preliminary stage, which is guided just by the rules and regulations, is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And the spontaneous stage is called Raganuga Bhakti. And then finally, the perfectional stage is called Prema Bhakti. And these three stages are also called the Kanishta Adhikari, the Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari, or the practice of devotional service that's still contaminated or offensive, the clearing stage, where one is actually engaged in chanting the pure holy name, but still has not overcome all their material qualities, and finally the perfectional stage, where one is completely purified and favorably engaged in the service of Kṛṣṇa. So, out of these, a person who has attained the stage of attraction for Kṛṣṇa, but who is not freed from the material impasse, but who has qualified himself to enter into the kingdom of God, is called a sadhaka. Sadhaka means one who is cultivating devotion in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The description of such a devotee is found in the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 46 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is said there that a person who has unflinching faith in and love for the personality of Godhead, who is in friendship with devotees of Kṛṣṇa, and who is very merciful to the ignorant, raising them to the standard of devotional service, and who is uninterested in non-devotees, is considered to be situated in the position of cultivating devotional service. Actually, this describes the Madhyama Adhikari. The Madhyama Adhikari, he follows these principles. He feels love and attachment to Kṛṣṇa. He makes friends with the devotees. He neglects the non-devotees. He simply ignores them. He has no interest in them, for or against. And he's very merciful to ignorant people and tries to give them this science, or tries to engage them in the service of the Lord. When one is found shedding tears by hearing of the pastimes of the Lord, it is to be understood that the blazing fire of material existence will be extinguished by such watering. When there is shivering of the body and the hairs of the body stand up, it is to be understood that the devotee is nearing perfection. An example of a sadhaka cultivating devotional service is Bilvamangala Thakur. Bilvamangala Thakur is a very famous devotee in India. He's also sometimes known as Suradas, popularly known. So Suradas was a very materialistic person. And he used to visit a prostitute called Chintamani. And one time, it was during the rainy season, and it was pouring down rain like anything. A very cold, dark, stormy night. A dark and stormy night. So, still driven by his materialistic interests, he decided to visit Chintamani, even on this terrible